I missed. It's fine, I have socks, I can try again. Man, my aim is awful today. Got it. Hello, my lovely peoples, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. What took you so long? I'm just kidding. I love you. My name's Amber Rose, also known as the Religious Hippie. You can basically follow me on any social media platform. Just type in the Religious Hippie and you will find me. Today I'm rocking my Catholic Connect Saint Cherubal t-shirt. You guys should totally get one of these from Catholic Connect. They're awesome. I'm linking their store below in the description. Absolutely love their stuff and everything they do. So a little while ago, I put a poll out on my Instagram. Again, if you guys don't follow me on my other social media, I highly suggest you do, because I do a whole bunch of different content on all my different types of media pages and everything. So definitely go check them out. My link tree is below in the description. But on my Instagram, per usual, I put up a questionnaire on my story, and you guys came back with a whole bunch of questions. Oh, almost dropped my phone. So we're going to be going through those questions today. I'm trying to figure out if it would be better with the ring light or, hang on, without. We're going to go with, just because extra light. We've always had issues with lighting on this channel, and I finally got a ring light, so we're going to use it. Okay, let's get into these questions. The first one, we're starting off with a spicy one here. Should President Biden be excommunicated by the church? Technically, he already is, due to his abortion beliefs. If you are an advocate for abortion, you excommunicate yourself. I do believe, however, he should be publicly excommunicated by the Catholic Church. Therefore, he cannot receive communion at any church, no matter if the priests are liberal and agree with him, which is really, he should be publicly excommunicated, yes. Question number 2. Thoughts of dyeing your hair? Let me tell you, I dyed my hair some crazy colors. I went blonde and dark brown color, kind of like the, well, this is like my natural hair color. But I have gone black, I have gone blue, I have gone chestnut, I've gone red. I have had a lot of hair dyeing catastrophes. I've gotten highlights. I dyed my hair a lot. Here's the thing. As a teenager, it was really fun because I was young and it was hair, because hair grows back and everything. But when you become an adult, I don't think it's as appropriate. And the main reason is because, well, A, we're adults. Colored hair does not look professional, no matter what the world wants to tell you. Colored hair, in my opinion, is not professional. Unless, of course, it's a natural hair color, like brown, black, blonde, something like that. Needless to say, I had my blue hair, pink hair, red hair, like I had all the colors, okay? And being a teenager, that was fine, because I was a teenager and I was a minor, I was immature, and that's kind of what different crazy hair colors says, in my opinion. But as I got older, I realized that natural hair colors looked a lot better, and when trying to get jobs and things of that nature, being more natural kind of was very helpful. That's my personal opinion. You can agree or disagree, but I do believe that dyeing your hair crazy colors, through my own experience, does not make you look mature. Okay, our next question. Did you like Did you like the latest Star Wars trilogy? Why did they have Rey and Kylo kiss out of nowhere? I do not like Disney Star Wars. I was raised on the nostalgia. I might get a lot of haters. You guys can have a different opinion, of course. I do not like the Disney Star Wars. They have that Disney twist in there that is not appropriate for Star Wars. When it comes to the whole Kylo and Rey thing, people are like, wouldn't it make more sense for Rey to be Luke's daughter? Yes, it does. They don't understand the whole Palpatine thing and how he's still alive. And that didn't even make sense to me. It would have made more sense to bring back, Darth Maul. Why couldn't I think of his name? It would have made more sense for them to bring back Darth Maul than it made sense for them to bring back Palpatine. And here's the thing, I know all about the extended universe. My best friend, he's really into Star Wars and into the extended universe, and we were talking about it. And it's just like the whole life-giving force thing and everything, how she gave him her life and he gave his life. What? People only learn that, Jedis only learn that after like millennia of training. And then this whole, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. I don't like the little Disney humor ticks that they throw in there. They tried to make Poe, like a new Han Solo, and I don't like the whole thing between who is the black guy? I don't remember because they're not rememberable. I'm sorry, they're not rememberable. Basically it was a repeat of the latest trilogy. Didn't like it. And I want to say really fast, I'm not being biased, okay? I don't like the originals just because they're originals and these are like new. I don't like them because they are not good. That is the main thing. They are not good. And that's my personal opinion. You can totally agree. You can disagree with me. You can do whatever you want. That is totally fine. But personally, in my opinion, the newest Star Warses are trash. Don't cancel me. Okay, our next question is, thoughts on different veils and transparent veils? I think all veils are honestly really beautiful. I've been looking at quite a few transparent veils just because they are gorgeous and I love the shimmer shine. I don't know, as a woman, I am attracted to things that sparkle, okay? That's just how I am. And the shimmer shine on like transparent veils is just, I want. But then, okay, I'm letting you guys in on a little secret. I'm thinking about starting to make my own veils. I'm probably not going to sell them or anything like that or nothing. And we still need to get the sewing machine set up and I still have to figure out how to do it specifically, but it is kind of one of those things where I'm like, I could spend $50 and buy a veil, though I could support my local businesses, you know, and that's super important. But I've done that. Or I could spend maybe $10 in material and make my own veil, the length I want, the colors, the style, etc. I can make it infinity, triangle, transparent, whatever, and I could just do it myself. And then maybe sell them eventually, but I'm not really sure yet. It's kind of up in the air, but I'm just surprised. Thoughts on Disney movies? Here's the thing. There are very, 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 very few Disney TV shows and movies that I will watch and enjoy. Most of them are the Renaissance Disney movies, such as Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid and things like that. I'm really not a big fan of Little Mermaid, to be honest. It's very, yeah. Anyway, but one of my most favorite Disney movies to date is Tangled. I will forever love that Disney movie. The animation was amazing. I loved Mandy Moore's voice as Rapunzel. I love Flynn Rider. I love Maximus. I love the movie. The series is crap. The movie was so good. And I love Tangled. I do. Disney itself is very worldly. I don't approve of the newest TV shows coming out or anything like that, but as a kid, I really enjoyed certain TV shows they put out, like Zeke and Luther and things like that, and looking back on it, like Kickin' It and stuff like that, looking back on those shows, I tried rewatching them one day, and I was just like, how did I tolerate this? Like, it's mindless, like, it's really mindless, and that's coming from someone who usually watches cartoons for reference for graphic design, but I do love cartoons, so that's okay. The main thing is, overall, Disney, not the biggest fan of it. There are very few shows I enjoy from them, but what shows do you guys like from Disney, if you guys like Disney at all? Let me know your guys' opinions. Is it a sin to watch movies like Twilight or TV shows like The Office? Father Ripperger talked about this a little bit. There are certain demons, actual demons, connected with movies such as Twilight and horror movies like The Nun and things like that. I'll try to find his talk that he did about this specific topic. For those who don't know Father Ripperger, he is a very famous Catholic exorcist. He's very good in what he does, and I absolutely aspire, like, this man is a very good holy man. So keep him in your prayers. He talked about that a little bit. And for me, I did watch Twilight. It was for gags, like kicks and giggles. It's not because I actually, like, enjoy the show, so to speak. But it's definitely one of those shows that I kind of regret watching just because it's so stupid and some parts actually did kind of scar me for life, a little bit. A little bit. Is it a sin specifically? I don't think we should be watching things that are immoral, and in fact, if you look in the examination of conscience, it has under it like immoral movies, magazines, TV shows, music, etc. If you've been listening, watching, or listening, watching, or talking about things that are immoral, they're not necessarily a mortal sin, so to speak, but you should probably confess it. And for Twilight, I don't know. I don't think I really understood the importance of it until after I watched it, and then I was like, so you kind of have to go at your own discernment. But again, the eyes are a window to the soul, so I wouldn't suggest you be watching anything that's immoral, but that's really, really hard to not do these days. It's a huge sacrifice because a lot of TV shows, movies, etc. are immoral these days, so you have to go at your own discernment. Discuss it with your priest, honestly. I feel like that is also something we should be doing more often, is having these types of conversations with the clergy. So, discuss it. Okay, so next up, what if a wife wants to be a stay-at-home mom and the husband wants her to work outside the home? I think it's difficult, but I don't think, I can't really speak, okay, I don't know your situation exactly. Here's the thing though, as women, we are happier at home. I can't speak for every single woman out there, but as a majority, women are happier when they're at home with their kids. If your husband is not willing for you to stay home with the kids and homeschool them and all of that stuff, you need to speak with him, because this can't just be one-sided where it's just like you need to work and you need to do this. If you need to get a part-time job to help out with bills or something, that's a little different. But if he's just like, you need to work and it needs to be outside the house, I don't think that that's fair, because as women, our main job, our work is the home. That is our work. And so I highly suggest you pray about it. You ask the Holy Ghost for clarity on this situation, and you have a sit-down discussion with this man, because I don't think he fully understands the nature of a woman. And I can't speak for sure. I'm just going off based of what you said. And I think he just needs to be enlightened a little bit, and maybe just discuss with him how important it is for you to be a stay-at-home mom. For me specifically, I'm getting a degree where I can be a stay-at-home mom and work online if I need to. However, we have it worked out where I would be at home with the kids, doing homeschooling with them and things like that, if that's what God's will is. So I highly suggest you pray about it, be open to God's will, and sit down with him and have a face-to-face discussion and be like, hey, I'm not going to be happy if I work outside the home, the kids are going to need me, etc. And if he is a partner who is a good partner and is willing to sacrifice and compromise so that both of you can come to an agreement, that is a good man. If he refuses to listen and he isn't going to help you in what you need and vice versa, of course, what he needs, like, that's important too, but the man's job is to be the breadwinner. That is just how it is. Men would go out and hunt in the old days, and things like that. The women's job is to stay home and take care of the family. The men take care of the family in a different way. So if he's not willing to really compromise with you or make some kind of halfway agreement, like you maybe get a part-time job or something of that nature, I don't think it's a relationship worth pursuing. Just mainly because there needs to be this understanding of the woman's place and the man's place. And if you know you're not going to be happy, not being a stay-at-home mom, and you're going to be fighting him tooth and nail to be a stay-at-home mom, it's not going to be worth it in the long run. But definitely have a conversation, sit down with him, don't just throw it out the window just yet. Communication is so important, and I think so many people forget that these days. So sit down with him, talk about it, pray about it, let me know what happens. Okay, our next question: how long have you been a nanny babysitter for? So I have babysitted since I was probably about 9 or 10. I babysat, I wasn't paid because I was young enough, and they were our friends and stuff, but they just had newborns at the time, 2 twin boys, newborns, and I would help the mom out, you know. I would have one sleeping on me, and then the other one would be down for a nap, or she would have the other twin. But I do remember that was like my first time babysitting, and then from there I started actually babysitting around the age of 13, and then from there I've just been babysitting ever since, and I love it. The kids are amazing, they're so sweet, and I love to see them grow up. It's very interesting, and still keeping that connection with them when they grow up. It's very, very special, so I love it. All right, next up we have the best way to court. You know, this is a tricky one, but Father Ripperger did do a really good video on this, so I think I'm just gonna link that below for you, and you can go check that out, and hopefully that'll answer your questions. Okay, our next question is, what do you think of the Byzantine Catholicism, about Byzantine Catholicism? I think it's really cool. I think it's hardcore. I don't really know much about it, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have one friend who was interested in it and really liked it, and other than that, I don't really know. But I do know that it's a little bit more of a hardcore type of Catholicism, like Eastern Catholicism, Eastern Rite. So yeah, that's, I mean, cool, you know? What was homeschool like? If my vocation is marriage, I want to homeschool. Homeschooling was awesome, to be honest. I learned so much. I was one of those kids that really, really struggled in school systems. I tried going to school for a little while. I just couldn't do it. There was too much stimulation for like 8 hours a day and then come home for more homework. It was too much for a quiet soul like me. And people are like, you're not a quiet soul. I'm like, those who know me know that I need quiet time, like multiple times throughout the day. If I get overstimulated, I get moody, I can't focus, I don't do well. And so that's why homeschooling was so important, because I was also very visual and kinesthetic. So I liked being able to go outside and feel the dirt, not just look at the dirt on a screen or read about it in a book. We actually got to touch slugs and go out and catch frogs, and we learned about the frogs, not by dissecting them, but simply by just looking at books, and then we would keep frogs in a little tank and we would study them for the day, and then we would let them go at night. Just little things like that had really helped me grow as a child. I don't think kids get enough outdoor time. I also think they learn a lot more when they're actually taught in the real world more than they are in classrooms. That's my personal opinion. But it was great. I mean, I know I struggled in math a lot just because math is not my thing. But science was good and everything, and I actually ended up going to an online high school called Queen of Heaven Academy, which is awesome, and I highly suggest that academy, high school academy, to anyone going into high school. Very, very good Catholic school online. But yeah, that's basically what I did, and I loved it. I was able to go at my own pace. I actually ended up graduating early at 16, and I think it's honestly one of the best ways to school your kids. I really do. There's less mental health issues, there's less bullying. I was still bullied a lot, but it's so much better than being in a school system, because I was able to escape the bullying, because I didn't see those people very often. And so in those instances, homeschooling is honestly the best type of schooling. Okay, we got next up. Have you ever had Dutch brothers? No, I haven't, but I have seen it a lot on like my friends' Instagram stories, and I'm just like, I don't know if we have one by me though, but I'll have to check. Do you have a favorite Marian apparition? Yeah, I kind of go between a couple, but I really always come back to Our Lady of Akita. That is one of my most favorites. Favorite apologetic books or videos? Honestly, anything from Catholic Answers, Keith Nestor, Trent Horn is pretty good too. Man, there's so many. I'll link a bunch below, but definitely Catholic Answers would be my go-to. Okay, next up we have how to still keep to your faith and morals while trying to be friends with non-Catholic people. Good question. I think being friends with non-Catholic people can be difficult, but we should be looking for people who are equally yoked with us. Now, that's not always possible. That's okay. I'm not saying all your friends need to be like perfect Christians. No. What I am saying though is that you shouldn't be friends with somebody who's disrespectful to you and your religion. I'm so sorry, my camera died. I don't remember where I left off, but the main thing is that they need to respect you. And so if you have friends that aren't being respectful of you, even though you're being respectful of them and everything like that, they're not good friends to keep. Remember, iron sharpens iron. And as I like to say, so saints sharpen saints. Saints make saints. A lot of the saints knew each other. And so if you are hanging out with people who are not leading you to heaven, they're probably not good friends to have in the first place. If they're not sharpening you spiritually, mentally, and they're being disrespectful and things like that, probably not good friends to have. But mainly, don't be ashamed and don't be afraid of your Catholic heritage, faith, conversion, whatever, however you became Catholic. Don't be afraid of your faith. No matter who you're with, be always boldly Catholic. Say grace, do the sign of the cross, talk about Jesus, read your Bible. Don't let people hold you back, because at the end of the day, people are always going to let you down. God is the only one who can truly satisfy. And so I do believe, even though community is very important, we can't put our faith on hold or be ashamed of it because of what people might think of us. So that's just my 2 cents, but I really hope it works out for you. All right, next up, favorite book. I have a lot of favorite books, but because I always say Imitation of Christ, I'm going to say the most recent one I've been reading, which is How to Find Your Soulmate Without Losing Your Soul. That's right, I never finished it. I picked it up again. And even though we don't believe in soulmates as Catholics, I do believe that this book is super, super helpful for men and women alike, even though it says like 21 secrets for women. I think men should read it as well, and I think you should read it whether you're married, you're single, or you're dating, or you're discerning to date, or whatever. I think everyone should be reading this book. It has so many important tips and just advice in general, and I've learned so much, and I just think it's really beneficial for people to read. Recommended Catholic music, please. I'm gonna link my Spotify playlist below. I kind of have a playlist of a whole bunch of Catholic music that I kind of put together, so definitely go check that out. Other than that, Gregorian chant is always my go-to. Any kind of Gregorian chant. What do you struggle with the most, if you're comfortable sharing? Body image, actually. People will shame you if you're skinny, shockingly. I'm 104 pounds soaking wet, and that's just how I am. My body fluctuates, but I also work out a lot, and I'm healthy. I am healthy. I'm not, I mean, like, yes, I'm a little underweight, but I eat so heckin' much. Like, I have eaten 40 bagel bites. My boyfriend can attest. I have eaten 40 bagel bites because I'm hungry, and I will eat. I'm very much so an intuitive eater. If I want something, I'll eat it, unless I'm fasting or I'm depriving my flesh. Like, that's completely different. But I am an intuitive eater, and I eat until I'm satiated. I don't overeat, and those 40 bagel bites were not in one sitting. I had 10, and then 10, and then 10, and then 10 throughout the day. And I can't really remember why I did that, except for the fact that I really, really wanted bagel bites, and you guys know that it's one of my biggest addictions, and I only allow myself to have them like once a week or once every month. Just because I do eat them a lot, so they're not healthy, and so yeah, but I eat a lot of vegetables, fruits, meats, carbs, and everything. But I always struggled with body image because as a high schooler, I never dealt with it as a kid. I didn't care about Barbies. I didn't care about what people looked like on TV when I was younger. But when I became 13 or 14, I became self-aware of my body because of a specific guy I liked who would sexualize me in that way, where he was very attracted to my body. And so that's when it kind of kick-started this whole thing of like, I need to be skinny, but I need to have a big butt and stuff. And it was really detrimental on my mental health. I was constantly told throughout high school I had no boobas kind of thing. That's what we say with the little girls. We say boobas. I was constantly ridiculed about my body and things like that from bullies in high school. And I would not eat for a really, really long time. It never really turned into a specific eating disorder. It was more like didn't eat for a long time, binged, didn't eat, and I guess that is actually considered an eating disorder, but I was never specifically diagnosed. I was able to snap out of it pretty fast. But because of that, I started following a lot of models, and I started taking detox teas. And keep in mind, I was like 100 pounds. I was not overweight. I was not, you know, I didn't need to diet. But because of these misconceptions that were put in my head by the way that the world said my worth, what I was worth, it really got to me. And that was the biggest issue. I listened to the world and not God. And unfortunately, it led me down a really big path of body image issues. And I still deal with a lot of them because that's hard to beat. And despite the fact I know I'm a healthy weight, I work out, I don't push myself too hard, I eat right, and then I have cheat days. Like, I'm a very healthy person. Sometimes it'll still trigger me when I go onto Instagram or Facebook or something and I come across a model or something of that nature. And it just triggers me and I'm like, why can't I look like that? And then I kind of have to talk myself down and I'm just like, it's because there's Photoshop and like they're specifically trained like that, like constantly, and they're not really that happy that way. And true happiness comes from God, and it takes a lot sometimes. Some days I just look at myself and I'm just like, oh heck no, like we ain't doing this today. And I will actually cover my mirrors just for my own peace of mind. But yeah, that's kind of what I struggle with the most. What do you think about Pope Francis? I'm going to keep it short. I don't think he's the best pope we've ever had. I also don't think he's the worst. If you guys have looked back on some other popes we've had, yikes. I don't think he's the worst pope we've ever had, but he still deserves respect for the authority that he has. Do I agree with everything he says? No. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. The Pope's not perfect, but we need to constantly be praying for him, and we need to be praying for all the clergy, for that matter. We need to be praying for all the bishops, the leadership. We need to be praying for the brothers, the nuns, the sisters, everybody, because they are under such a huge amount of weight and attack from the devil. And so we need to constantly be praying for the Pope and praying for all the clergy and the sisters and nuns. Like, that is so, so important. Do we as Catholics believe in ghosts or anything like ghosts? We believe in demons, to be honest. Whenever a ghost is specifically a person, Father Ripperger talks about this a lot. Definitely go check his lectures out and everything. When it is a human spirit, they will usually appear to you from purgatory, which they'll be engulfed in flames if God allows it, or they will just stare at you for a few moments as a ghost. They're not going to do anything or anything like that, and then they'll just disappear. If we're talking about ghosts, like things you see on TV, like ghost hunters and stuff, I used to love Dead Files. I used to love Ghost Adventures. I was huge into that as a teenager. Do not suggest. Really dangerous stuff. And all of that is demonic. And no matter what they tell you, it is all demonic. Would you collab with me one day? It'd be a dream. Greetings from Puerto Rico. Yeah, of course. I would love to. I love meeting new people. I think that would be so fun. Recently, I've been doing quite a few collabs, so that would be really cool. Yeah, definitely DM me. Let me know what you had in mind. What should you do during adoration? You can do, honestly, whatever you want. I usually go for the Rosary or the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Those are the two most common I would go for. You can just sit in silence. You can prayer journal. You can read. You can just talk to Jesus. You could do a holy hour. You can honestly, those are my main ideas. That's what I would personally do. But what do you guys do during adoration? Will I go to hell if I get a tattoo? No. No, you won't. Although I don't personally, Todd, you know I don't like tattoos, but, no, you won't. I don't think. What's your thoughts on Islam? I don't think all Islamic people are bad, okay? The religion, however, itself is extremely violent and very, destructive. It goes against human nature. So while I love the people as their own individual people that God created them to be, their religion, their Islamic religion, is extremely dangerous, I guess you could say. It's extremely violent and I do not approve of it, but them as people, I pray for them. I really do. Normal water or sparkling water? Normal water. I'm not a big fan of sparkling water because it just, well, and also it's like angry water, so yeah. But normal water is pretty good. Okay, and our last one is your guide on finding good fiction books. Dude, I haven't been able to really find any good fiction books, I'm gonna be honest. You could go on to, okay, something you can do is you can go on to Goodreads. It's a website for books. There's a whole bunch of books. And you can look basically at what people's opinions of the books are. There's a lot of comments underneath. You can find book clubs, etc. Like there's a lot of information on there to help you find some good books and a lot of filters and things like that. I have not been able to actually find any good fiction books. I mean, I found some when I was a kid, like Once Upon a Marigold was really, really good. There are some other ones, but I don't remember them very well. But it's very hard to find good fiction books these days. I used to really be into Sarah J. Maas novels and things, and I became so actually attached to the stories that it actually caused me to go into little spurts of kind of like depression because the real world wasn't the Sarah J. Maas world. And also there's a lot of immoral stuff that happens in there. There's a lot of gross sexual stuff that happens, and as a teenager I kind of looked over that. I was like, whatever, but now I'm kind of like, I shouldn't have been reading that anyways, because again, eyes are the window to the soul. We don't want to watch or read anything that's immoral, though I did skip over those parts most of the time. But yeah, I haven't been able to find any really good fiction books, but if any of you guys know how to find a good fiction book that's clean and stuff like that, put it in the comments below, because honestly, I would love to read some good fiction. I really would. So, and with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried getting to as many questions as I could. I know there were a lot of questions, but don't forget to email me if you have any more in-depth questions, or you have a second question based off your first question, whatever you want, prayers, etc. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!